Champions League, and here's the current state of play in Group H. At half-time, it's Juventus that are leading 1-0 against Malmo, and Chelsea trail 2-1 against Zenit. So, as things stand, it's Juventus that top the group. It's all to play for in the second half. But, Crouchy, this is not the half-time team talk we were expecting to have in the studio. Chelsea trailing at half-time.
Yeah, no, it wasn't. But, you know, the warning signs were there. They got in a couple of times. Kepa pulled off a couple of really, really good saves to keep the score down. I still think it's a really open game. Chelsea are a threat as well, but they're far too open defensively.
But they started brightly, didn't they, via Timo Werner's goal, really, really early on as well.
Yeah, they did, yeah. Barkley's put in some good set pieces, and Christian takes everyone. Look how many Zenit players are at the near post. He takes them all away. You know, all the big players head towards the near post, and Werner's just in front of the keeper, finds himself completely on his own, unmarked, and yeah, it's a well-worked goal.
Yeah, I mean, it's a lovely ball in, isn't it? I mean, it's almost you can't defend that, can you? When he's whipped him with that much pace, lovely fit from Christian and Werner. And we thought at this time, Seema, this was going to be run-of-the-mill, and the first 20 minutes went to plan. But then after that, it went to pot.
Absolutely. I mean, that goal came at 1 minute 23, so it's actually Chelsea's fastest ever Champions League goal. But then, as you said, after about 20 minutes, it became a very open game.
It did, and it did. And the key indicators for me, you take Rudiger and Thiago Silva, two leaders out of the back three, back five, and they looked disjointed. They looked, and we've not seen this from a Thomas Tuchel side here. Not getting tight enough, poor clearance, another clearance. This isn't a terrible clearance, but then it looks lackadaisical. Are they getting up? It's just a run from deep, a lovely weighted ball, and a beautiful flicked header. But you take the leaders out the team, Crouchy, and these things can happen.
Yeah, it was all at sea. It was nervy, wasn't it? And Malazar just stays in there. I think we saw there's a clip of Mason Mount actually telling him if he'd go out, we've all got to go together, because he drops in, plays him on side, and it was the run came from deep, so he was never going to be offside. But yeah, you say I think they are missing those leaders centrally at the back.
Yeah, and as you said, the warning signs were there, then the goal came, and then they went 2-1 up 3 minutes after that Claudinho goal through this goal. Again,
Seema, it would look just disjointed. There's a turnover in midfield. I think Ross Barkley lost the ball, and then they were caught. If you look Ross here, he gets a little bit sloppy there, be disappointed. But then they're caught with going, are they playing offside, are they not? And all of that stems from when you get the two leaders, the two generals, Thiago Silva, Rudiger, if one of them's not playing, it really upsets it. So Thomas Tuchel's had a gamble tonight with his team selection, and so far it's not paying off. I mean, the man's been spot on since he's been there, and you know he obviously is putting more emphasis on the game against Leeds on the weekend with a team selection. But that won't detract from the fact that he'll be very disappointed with the first half performance. I'll expect that the players will get a volley from him at half time.
Yeah, without doubt.
Might we see some changes in the second half?
Yeah, potentially. I mean, he won't want to use them, you know, Thiago Silva or Rudiger, but it's quite clear they've missed them big time tonight.
Absolutely. OK, well, plenty for Thomas Tuchel to think about as we head into the second half in St. Petersburg. Of course,
it might be a little bit different, but overall we still want to be proactive, always on the front foot. So this is literally our style of football for the next couple of months. And
you've got a lot of youngsters on the bench, on the field as well, and we're going to have to keep our co-commentator a little bit calm because his son's out there. So it's a great chance for them as well, isn't it? And a great experience.
Yes, of course. I mean, we can make 5 substitutions. We will have to see also the chronology of the game, what will be the score at half-time. But if so, I would like to give as many of those young players an opportunity to play as I can.
You can hear a cheer behind me. Thanks, Ralph.
Thank you. Thank you.
Well, Owen, what catches your eye this evening? Perhaps what we can see on screen right there?
Well, no, that's just the back four doing a little bit of work with Kieran McKenna. I mean, the only surprise really is their Matic playing in the back four. Got him with quite a more attacking midfield, really, in Mata, in Van der Beek. But these players are auditioning, as Rio mentioned earlier. You know, there's a lot of young players in there, but there's experience in there as well. So you've got Matic and you've got Mata in midfield. But you've got, you know, really talented young players in there as well, with Mason Greenwood and Elanga and Diallo. So it's a good blend. And let's see how it works, because basically there's guys in here, Jesse Lingard and Mason Greenwood, they could get into the starting 11 if they play really well. You know, Wan-Bissaka's another one, Luke Shaw is another one of those players. So play well and you can get into the starting 11 for the Premier League.
As you know, I like listening to Vibe with Five, and you were saying this week that you think they're going to have to really fight, don't you, Shaw and Wan-Bissaka, to have a strong foothold in this United team under Ralph Rangnick. What do they need to show other than just fight, though, to be playing regularly?
Yeah, well, listen, I think Tellez had over 100 passes, 100 touches in the game against Palace. That was well beyond the average from the fullbacks in in previous games. And I think that in Ranić's way of playing, he demands that the fullbacks get, yes, high up the pitch and wide, but they're integral to the way that he wants to play. But also, he makes sure that they got to get the ball in these areas. And when that happens, you've got the people like Cristiano, you're going to want to get in there, and when you get that ball in the box, Cavani, when he comes back, Mason Greenwood, Rashford, they fill the box to get in there. This occasion they don't, but this ball is on a sixpence there for Cristiano. Another day he heads that in the back of the net.
That was the big difference against Palace. The fullbacks were high, and they were getting crosses in for Cristiano. Look where Darlow is there, and as soon as he gets it, you know, re-highlights there. Look at all the players trying to get into the box because they know the cross is going to come. Maybe if Wan-Bissaka's playing there, maybe that ball doesn't come in. But look at the position there. Mason Greenwood just adjusts his position. It's a fabulous ball from Darlow. But look, Mason Greenwood gets close to Cristiano Ronaldo. You know, Elanga's in there as well. And the big point is, I mean, look at the defensive midfield players. You know, Fred's in there, Bruno's in there, Teller's in there, Scott McTominay's just a man. So even if you don't win the ball, you're there to win it on the counter press. So much detail in there, and a great way to pass from Mason Greenwood. He's so intelligent, and a fabulous finish from Fred. This formation and system is going to suit Fred and McTominay, but it's going to suit the fullbacks because they have to get crosses in, get the ball to the best player in the box, and that's Cristiano Ronaldo because he'll score.
And that's the area that Wan-Bissaka, for all of the stuff you talk about, he's 1v1s, he's brilliant defensively 1v1, but with the ball, the demands that you've got to be able to put the ball in areas, you've got to be able to pass the ball forward and cross the ball into good areas, and they're the areas he's going to have to work on to try and get back into this team and stay in it.
Is it the sort of thing that you can work on, improve, and become great at?
Repetition in training sessions, aren't they? If he's not doing it, if he hasn't been doing that already, I'd be very surprised. It's something that you do. If you're a fullback, you stay out after training, you put 10, 15 crosses in after training. You do that probably 3 or 4 times a week. That is a fundamental part of a fullback's game, especially today. Gary Neville's era, you could stay behind and be the backup man and be a decoy runner and never cross the ball in a game sometimes. No disrespect to Gary. But today's right-backs and left-backs, you are the people that control games a lot of the time in the modern game. So this is where the areas are going to be very, very important for Man United.
Look at the influence Cancelo has on Manchester City. Look at the influence, you know, Reece James has on Chelsea. Trent. Look at the influence Trent, you know. Wan-Bissaka now, he needs to take this on. He's probably the best individual defender in the world.
1v1.
1v1. But also, the modern football, you've got to create and score goals. He can do it. You just got to trust himself and put himself in the mixer.
Very good. Going to be interesting, isn't it, to see who thrives and who struggles under the new regime here at Old Trafford. And it's a regime that continues straight after the break. Ralph Rangnick's.
Scherer, Bowen ran the Chelsea defense ragged. Alan Shearer's team of the week. Premier League's records. Goal scorer Pickett. The West Ham winning in this best XL of match week 15. Scoring against Chelsea has been a challenge this season, with the reigning European champions keeping 8 clean sheets in their opening 14 Premier League matches and never conceding more than once. But that all changed on Saturday as West Ham United struck 3 times to beat the Blues and their visitor spell at the top of the table. The Premier League's records goal scorer Alan Shearer felt Gerard Bowen was the pick of the bench and has named the Hammers Rangers in this match week 15 teams of the weeks, along with manager David Moyes. He made an incredible saving the Danny Hervey Bournemouth and precisive 3 points for Aston Villa. Excellent in the ball, constant tried and solid in Manchester United's first home clean sheet. He justified real Rangers with it's not often a center block scores twice. He also dealt with a lot of Leicester City pressure in end-to-end encounter.